Home Alone, the blockbuster film from 1990, remains a cherished gem for many, a cinematic treasure that will always occupy a special corner of their hearts. However, as time unfurls its inevitable course, the performers who breathed life into this beloved movie have departed. Today, we gather to honor 6 Home Alone actors who have bid farewell to this world. While some of their passings garnered widespread media attention, others slipped away unnoticed. In this tribute, we shall speak their names and celebrate their lasting contributions to the world of entertainment. Number 1. John Candy. John Candy portrayed Gus Polinski, the polka king of the West. Gus steps in when Kevin's mom, Kate McAllister, needs a ride to reach her home in Big Chicago. Hilariously, Gus offers her a seat in a rental van, along with his traveling polka band. During the journey, he amusingly suggests that Kate plays the clarinet and shares a comical anecdote about accidentally leaving his own child in a funeral parlor all day, assuring that the child turned out fine and started talking 6 or 7 weeks later. Candy passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 43 on March 4, 1994, in Durango City, Mexico, while filming Wagons East. Reports indicated that Candy's cause of death was a heart attack. Born on October 31, 1950, in Toronto, Candy grew up in Newmarket, Ontario, in a working-class Catholic family. The son of Sidney James Candy and Evangeline Candy, he spent his childhood at 217 Woodville Avenue in East York, Ontario. In 1971, Candy secured a small role as a Shriner in Creeps, a play by David E. Freeman during the inaugural season of the Tarragon Theatre in Toronto. In 1980, Candy hosted a short-lived NBC television program called Roadshow, characterized as improvisational journalism by The Washington Post. The show featured Candy traveling in a tour bus to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Carbondale, Illinois, interviewing college students in party atmospheres. He also had backstage access to interview Midge, the lead singer of the UK electronic band Ultravox, during a Halloween Street celebration in Carbondale. Candy and his wife Rosemary Hobor had 2 children, Christopher Michael and Jennifer Ann. Publicly acknowledging his struggles, Candy admitted to suffering from severe anxiety and panic attacks. In 1991, Candy, along with Bruce McNall and Wayne Gretzky, became an owner of the Canadian Football League's Toronto Argonauts. The team, under their ownership, won the 1991 Grey Cup. Wagons East, the film Candy was working on at the time of his death, was completed using a stunt double and special effects. His final film, Canadian Bacon, a satirical comedy by Michael Moore, was released a year after his passing. Candy's last recorded voice work was for the TV film The Magic 7 in the early 1990s, which faced production challenges and was eventually shelved. Posthumously, Candy was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame in 1998. In May 2006, he was featured on a postage stamp by Canada Post, honoring him as one of the first 4 entertainers ever honored this way. On October 31, 2020, Toronto Mayor John Tory declared John Candy Day on what would have been his 70th birthday. Blues Brothers 2000 pays tribute to Candy, who played a supporting role in the original Blues Brothers. A memorial event hosted by Dan Aykroyd took place at the 2007 Grey Cup Lantern in Toronto in November 2007.
Shock from all the tragedies I think that we had dealt with.
The greatest tragedy, the death of his father in the 1950s.
Number 2. Jerry Becker. Jerry Becker portrayed Officer Number 1 in Home Alone. Becker passed away on April 13, 2019, due to complications related to diabetes. Hailing from St. Louis, Missouri, born into a family of priests, Becker initially pursued priesthood studies with Jesuits for 3 years before discontinuing. He attained a bachelor's degree in English from the University of Missouri and a master's degree in theater from St. Louis University. Affiliated with Remains Theater and Steppenwolf Theater Company in the Chicago, Illinois region, Becker took on the lead role in Bernard Slade's romantic comedy At Pheasant Run in St. Charles, Illinois, in 1981. Mary Yanni of the Herald of Crystal Lake, Illinois, praised his excellent job portraying the self-centered but lovable writer. He featured in a National Jewish Theater production of Grown Ups by Jules Feiffer in 1987, with a review highlighting Becker's ability to operate on the cutting edge, stripping the character of empathy and leaving it less admirable, noting that Becker's piercing performance is just fine. In 1992, Becker played Mr. Wagner in Raymond J. Barrie's Once in Doubt with Romaines Theatre Company in Chicago. A Variety review observed that Becker is a bit too meek as the curious interloper. The Times of Munster, Indiana criticized the production but commended the acting, stating that Becker and co-star William Peterson give as good as they get in this bizarre triangle and that the trio keeps the script taut and still extracts a good deal of humor from the dialogue, so even when everything they say seems arbitrary and stilted, they grab us with the sheer force of their acting. May found his acting beautiful. Beyond his contributions to theater, Becker appeared in various films, including Donnie Brasco, sometimes in leading roles, as seen in Man on the Moon. Becker struggled with alcohol from his teens but achieved sobriety for 10 years by 1995. He was married to Lucy, whom he met while performing in a show at the Court Theater.
Some sort of security risk.
That is absurd.
Doesn't matter. There isn't such a project. It's not like you had something that you...
Number 3. Billy Bird. Billy Bird portrayed Irene, the elderly woman at the airport whom Kevin's mother attempts to convince to exchange her ticket for money and jewelry. Bird passed away on November 27, 2002, in Granada Hills, California, at the age of 94 after battling Alzheimer's disease for several years. She rests in the Forest Lawn Memorial Cemetery in Glendale, California. Hailing from Pocatello, Idaho, Bird was discovered at 8 while residing in an orphanage. In her youth, she performed in vaudeville, including an act with the King Sisters, and later transitioned to theater cabaret before entering the realms of television and film. Credited with an appearance in the 1921 film Grass Widowers, the accuracy of information remains uncertain. Regardless, her film debut occurred in 1950, featuring a brief, uncredited role in The Odd Couple as a chambermaid. Her sole line, "Good night," was directed at Felix Unger, prompting his response, "Goodbye." Frequently cast by director John Hughes, Bird graced many of his films in the 1980s and 1990s, including 16 Candles, Home Alone, and Dennis the Menace. The latter two films paired her with the seasoned Hughes actor Bill Irwin, who portrayed her husband. She also took on the role of Mrs. Lois Feldman in Police Academy 4. Her final film appearance transpired in 1995's Jury Duty alongside Pauly Shore. Beyond her film work, Bird made numerous television appearances on shows such as Happy Days, Silver Spoons, Ironside, 8 is Enough, The Facts of Life, Who's the Boss, and Knots Landing. She held regular roles on sitcoms like It Takes Two in 1982, Benson from 1984 to 1986, and Dear John in 1988, starring Judd Hirsch. Her concluding acting role consisted of a brief appearance in 1997 on an episode of the sitcom George and Leo, where she shared the screen with her former co-star, Hirsch. Bird entertained troops in Vietnam with her personalized variety act, Flying High with Billy Bird. Recognized for her efforts, she became one of the few women to be honored as an honorary member of the Green Berets. Bird was married to Edwin Sellon until his passing in 1966, and together they had 3 children. Number 4. John Hurd. John Hurd portrayed the role of Peter McAllister, Kevin's father in Home Alone, with the character intentionally crafted as an emotionally distant father. This decision aimed to shift the narrative focus towards Kevin and his mother reuniting for Christmas. John Hurd, who passed away at the age of 71, was a captivating and intelligent character performer in American film, television, and theater, beginning in the mid-1970s. In the movie Big, 1988, his cleverly humorous portrayal as a resentful executive provided a refreshing counterbalance to the overall sweetness of a comedy centered around a boy's overnight transformation into a man. Born in Washington, D.C., Hurd was the son of Helen, née Sperling, and John. Helen was involved in community theater groups and worked as a museum guide, while John oversaw installations and properties in the office of the Secretary of Defense. Educated at Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts, and the Catholic University of America, Washington, D.C., Hurd left the latter before completing his degree to pursue work in regional theater and off-Broadway. Hurd's acting career included notable roles, such as Goldie Hawn's duplicitous husband in the thriller Deceived, 1991, and an Emmy-nominated performance in the first season of the HBO drama The Sopranos, 1999, where he portrayed a self-loathing detective entangled with the mafia. One of his standout moments came early in his film career when he played Alex Cutter, a snarling, self-destructive, yet deeply principled character in Cutter's Way, 1981, directed by Ivan Passer, a significant figure of the Czech New Wave. The character, an alcoholic Vietnam veteran who has lost an eye, an arm, and half a leg, becomes the film's driving force and conscience in his pursuit of holding a local businessman accountable for murder. Hurd's achievements extended beyond film to the Long Wharf Theater in New Haven, Connecticut, where he originated the role of Billy, the gay soldier, in the first staging of David Robb's play Streamers in 1976. He won an Obie Award in 1977 for his performance in G.R. Point, depicting a man processing dead soldiers from Vietnam before burial, and another 3 years later for his combined work in Othello and Split. In his initial film role as a disillusioned journalist in Between the Lines, 1977, he set the tone for a prolific career, with highlights including Heartbeat, 1980, and Cat People, 1982, where he portrayed Jack Kerouac and fell for Nastas Yakinski, respectively. He continued to perform extensively, with standout moments including the underground thriller Chu Di, 1984, the coming-of-age tale Heaven Help Us, known as Catholic Boys in the UK, and Martin Scorsese's nighttime screwball comedy After Hours, both 1985. In that same year, he took the lead role in the BBC adaptation of Tender is the Night, by Dennis Potter, and portrayed Geraldine Page's son in the Academy Award-winning drama The Trip to Bountiful. He played an FBI agent in Betrayed, a thriller centered on white supremacists, and a theater director entangled in a romantic affair with two friends in the heartfelt film Beaches, both 1988. Other remarkable films in his career included Awakenings, 1990, alongside Robert De Niro and Robin Williams, the Southern drama Rambling Rose, 1991, Clint Eastwood's thriller In the Line of Fire, and the John Grisham adaptation, The Pelican Brief, both 1993. He also had a recurring role in the television spin-off based on Grisham's novel The Client, 1995 and 96. His work continued unabated, transitioning more into television in his later years, contributing to series like CSI, Miami, and Prison Break, Resurrection. He even appeared in the intentionally over-the-top made-for-TV horror disaster film Sharknado, 2013. His personal life was marked by challenges. His initial marriage to actor Margot Kidder in 1979 lasted only 6 days. The third, Talana Pritchard in 2010, endured nearly 7 months. In 1997, he faced legal consequences for trespassing at the residence of former partner actor Melissa Leo. He is survived by his daughter from his second marriage to Sharon in 1988. Tragically, their son Max passed away last year, and another son, Jack, from his relationship with Leo.
Huge annual Christmas show, the annual holiday party, where we got Old Man Malarkey, and we got the Matter of Planets, the Scratches, we got a bunch of comedians.
Number 5. Bill Irwin. Bill Irwin, the individual who portrayed Man in Airport, has also passed away. You may remember him informing Kevin's mother that she doesn't require any more earrings, as she already possesses an entire shoebox full of those dangling ones. Irwin succumbed to natural causes at his residence in Studio City, California, on December 29, 2010, at the age of 96. Born on December 2, 1914, in Honeygrove, Texas, Irwin attained a bachelor's degree in journalism from the University of Texas at Austin and a master's in theater arts from California's Pasadena Playhouse. During the World War II era, Irwin served as a captain in the United States Army Air Forces, engaging in productions at the Pasadena Playhouse, the Laguna Beach Playhouse, the La Jolla Playhouse, and various Los Angeles venues. Irwin featured in films such as Man from Del Rio, 1956, and The Night Runner, 1957, in the late 1950s. He portrayed Jack Nicholson's father in The Cry Baby Killer, Nicholson's inaugural starring role in 1958. The long out-of-print film saw a DVD release on November 22, 2006. Irwin had credited minor roles in films like The Christine Jorgensen Story, 1970, How Awful About Alan, 1970, Candy Striped Nurses, 1974, and Tarantulas, The Deadly Cargo, 1977. Subsequently, he co-starred with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour in the romantic fantasy Somewhere in Time, 1980, as Arthur Bile, the Grand Hotel's venerable bellman. He regularly attended reunions of the cast, crew, and fans of the cult classic at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, Michigan. Initiating his theatrical career with the Laguna Beach and La Jolla Playhouses in 1940, Irwin served as ventriloquist Edgar Bergen's stage manager during Bergen's 1941 nationwide tour. Due to his resemblance to William Gaines, Sam Viviano redesigned Irwin's character as Gaines in the Mad Magazine parody of Home Alone, where the married couple sells their tickets to Kate McAllister. Irwin was married to actress and journalist Fran McLaughlin Irwin from 1948 until her passing in 1995. They resided in the Hollywood Hills and had 2 sons, Michael and Timothy, and 2 daughters, Lindsay and Kelly.
That I'd had a chance to do, and I'm just glad it turned out as well as it did, because it sort of fed into some other very nice pictures.
Number 6. Ralph Foody. Ralph Foody portrayed the gangster in the film that captures Kevin's attention while he indulges in a large bowl of ice cream. The fictional movie is titled Angels with Filthy Souls, and Foody, renowned for his role, famously utters the line, "Keep the change, you filthy animal," as Kevin confronts his mother, realizing that Kevin has been left home alone. Foody succumbed to cancer in 1999 at the age of 71. Born in Chicago, Illinois on November 13, 1928, Foody amassed various screen credits in the 1980s, including the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Raw Deal and the 1991 movie Dillinger, where he shared the screen with fellow gangster actor Lawrence Tierney. In 1990, Foody portrayed 1930s mobster Johnny in the film Home Alone and reprised the role in its 1992 sequel Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. In both films, Foody's character, Johnny, features in the black and white gangster movies within the films Angels with Filthy Souls and its sequel Angels with Even Filthier Souls. His performances are memorable for the iconic catchphrases, "Keep the change, you filthy animal," and "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal," and a Happy New Year. His role in Home Alone 2: Lost in New York marked his final appearance in a film. Originally set to play Snakes, the character killed by Johnny in the first Angels with Filthy Souls. Foody's recent knee replacement surgery prevented him from performing the death scene where Snakes drops to his knees, resulting in a reversal of roles. Foody also took on the role of Det, Craigie, the alcoholic and negligent Chicago cop in Code of Silence, and served as the police dispatcher in The Blues Brothers. Known for his sharp wit, Foody earned the nickname The Witster on set. Following the filming of Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, Foody retired from acting, relocating to Lexington, Kentucky, where he remained until his passing. Number 7. Roberts Blossom. Roberts Blossom portrayed the role of elderly man Marley, whom Kevin initially suspected to be a serial killer, influenced by the exaggerated tales of his imaginative older brother, Buzz. Over time, Marley and Kevin formed a friendship, brought together during a choir rehearsal at the local church. This scene is poignant, as not only does Marley share valuable advice with young Kevin, but he also imparts sage guidance on reconnecting with his estranged son for Christmas. Kevin follows this counsel, resulting in a doubly joyful conclusion to the movie. Blossom passed away on July 8, 2011, at the age of 87, succumbing to cerebrovascular disease while residing in a nursing home. Born on March 25, 1924, in New Haven, Connecticut, to John Blossom, an athletic director at Yale University, he grew up in Cleveland before relocating to Shaker Heights, Ohio. Blossom attended Hawkins School, graduated from Asheville School in 1941, and spent a year at Harvard University before serving in the United States Army during World War II in Europe. Initiating his acting career on stage in the 1950s, Blossom earned 3 Obie Awards for his performances in off-Broadway plays, including Village Wooing, 1955, his debut Do Not Pass Go, 1965, and The Ice Age, 1976. In the 1960s, he co-founded Film Stage, a multimedia avant-garde theatrical troupe. His Broadway credits encompass Ballad of the Sad Cafe, Operation Sidewinder, and a role in Peter Brook's 1988 production of The Cherry Orchard. Blossom made his screen debut in 1958 and appeared in his first feature film The Hospital in 1971. Throughout the 1970s, he secured roles in notable films such as The Great Gatsby, 1974, Slaughterhouse-Five, 1972, Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, and Escape from Alcatraz, 1979, where he notably portrayed a character who amputates his fingers with an axe. He is most recognized for his portrayal of Ezra Cobb in the 1974 horror film Deranged, based on American murderer Ed Gein. Notably, Blossom was originally cast as media mogul Arthur Jensen in the Oscar-winning Film Network but was replaced in pre-production by Ned Beatty. Blossom was previously married to Beverly Schmidt Blossom, with whom he had a son, Michael, who passed away on November 1, 2014, due to cancer. His later marriage to Marilyn Orshan Blossom lasted until her death in 1982, and they had a daughter, Deborah Blossom. Well, folks, we've reached the end of another fantastic journey together. Before we part ways, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. It really helps us out. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss out on the incredible content we have in store for you. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.